Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria,
And I'm Rosetta.
and in the spirit of kindness, we always want to encourage everyone to listen to one another and to be kind toward one another.
Yes, we do. That's great words to remember. And as we're Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea, what do we do at the beginning of every chat? We love to tell you what tea we're drinking. But before we start, I forgot, we have to remind you, if you love our videos, please hit the thumb icon to say you liked it. Consider subscribing to our channel and hit that bell notification.
And we have two bells because
Yes.
we want peace.
So you'll be notified when our videos are ready to be seen. We'd love for you to watch them. But today we are drinking, what are we drinking, Gloria?
We're drinking Allegro tea. This is a Northwest minty green tea. The ingredients are organic green tea, organic peppermint, and organic spearmint. You can't get more organic than that.
And you can't get more pepperminty and minty than that.
I love it.
So
we've had it steeping for a little bit. We are going to, I like to stir mine up a little bit.
Yeah, let me smell it.
And then smell it.
Ooh.
I can really smell the spearmint.
I know, surprising, because usually peppermint has a stronger...
And peppermint comes, you always list by highest volume, and peppermint is before spearmint, but...
Yeah, so let's try it.
Cheers!
Ooh, that's very... Well, I wouldn't say it's very pepperminty. I think it's more spearmint than peppermint. I was expecting, when you have things with peppermint, it kind of opens up your nasal passage. It's like a menthol kind of thing, right?
Absolutely.
But it's good.
It is.
I like a bit more peppermint, but it's still good.
But it's good. So let's get going with our chat today. So first, our thoughts and prayers go out to the entire human race. As you know, Rosetta and I were always thinking about the world, not just the United States, not just California, not just Santa Clara, where we are today, the whole world. And our hopes and prayers is for the human race to wake up and just do things better. And I'm having a moment. Rosetta's looking at me like, what are you doing? Rosetta saw a little movie that's a portion of Michael Moore's recent release, and it's talking about the women of Iceland.
Well, actually, just to go back, it's actually he actually played it again.
Right.
So it's
it's not brand new.
It's not just brand new. Yeah. It's just that he recently aired it again.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were so touched that we're going to put the link down below. And we would like every person who watches our video to watch this little mini clip. I think it will change your perspective, especially if you're a woman.
Yeah, it
changed mine.
Very, very emotional,
yes.
Thought-provoking, powerful, and educational. And you know me, I'm all about education, and I say knowledge is power if you take that knowledge and put it into good use.
Yes.
So I give big props to Michael Moore.
Yes.
He hasn't been in the limelight
for a while
now, but when he did come out with those documentaries he made, they were huge time, like just big movie blockbusters, because they're so thought-provoking. And with this one, Gloria and I, we were just so touched. We were like just watching it, all kinds of emotions came through us. And as Gloria said, we're going to put the link below, but we'd love for you to watch it. It's just 13 minutes.
Yes.
And we would love for you to put your comments below.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
We highly consider you watching it.
Yes. And if you like it, we would really love it if you would reshare it to your social media feeds, because I really believe what I saw is possible here in the United States of America.
Yes, it is.
So we're going to talk a little bit about mass shootings. You know, every day we receive a little bit more of a tidbit about the Uvalde, the school, Ross School, and all of those children being killed. So this week we learned different levels of officers, not just police officers, but different levels. There were 376 officers, and they did not take action for 77 minutes.
77 minutes, people.
Yes. They showed one clip where the gunman is shooting through the door, and the police officer goes, "Am I hit? Am I hit?" And my initial reaction was, it doesn't matter. You're still alive. If you can't tell if you're hit, it's not a severe.
Right.
It's not severe. You can still hear the children. They shared that the children were making 911 calls, and the person that was in charge got the information that it was an active shooter, because we were told they didn't know that it was active.
Right.
We now know that, yes, they did know. The parents are very upset, and they are asking for the entire police force to be fired, from the sheriff down to all of the participants, because they had one of the children that was in the room, and she was standing there, and she told them that everyone that died was one of her friends. She wore the dress to court that she wore the date of the shooting. I'm sorry. That's very impactful. So as Rosetta and I always tell you, we have to change. We have to vote. We have to stop this. Because there has been a mass shooting every day.
Every day since. And the latest one is, where is the latest one? Mass shooting in a mall in Indiana.
Yes.
Greenwood Mall. And 3 died and 2 were injured. The guy went into this mall, went into the food court and started shooting. And there was a guy that was a 22-year-old nearby, and he was legally carrying a firearm at the mall, and he shot and killed the gunman.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's really, really brave of him.
Yes.
On the flip side,
however,
this is going to be a cause for people to say, well, there you go. People should be allowed to carry guns, because these are the things that could happen.
Right.
And if he didn't have that gun, how's he going to shoot the shooter down dead?
Right.
So you're going to have people for and against. And I feel that he wouldn't have even had to pull out his gun if there was no killer rifle with how many magazines he was carrying in the first place.
And, you know, once again, we go back to the source, the cause and the source. The source is the rifles. And I just don't understand NRA. I know money is good. Through money, you can make very wonderful contributions and you can do good things in life. However, there has to be something else you can do that will give you the money that you want as a successful company without putting these AKs and ARs out on the streets where our children are just shooting. I mean, most of the mass shootings, they're young adults. And it just hurts my heart that this is what we're doing.
Yeah, and I don't like certain people saying that it's not the guns that kill the people, it's mental health.
Yeah.
Because I want to tell you, out there, other countries have a lot of mental health issues, but they don't have a lot of mass shootings like we do in the US. So that is not the case. It's not to do with the mental health.
Absolutely.
So people just can't see that, and you've got to understand that why is it in America now we're having a mass shooting every single day?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
And it's a bit obvious why. Well, to me, it's obvious why.
Yes, obvious
to Gloria,
me too.
too, it's obvious why.
So if it's obvious to you, comment below and let us know what you think, because we've shared with you over and over our thoughts.
Yeah, we have.
Yes. So vote. I believe in my heart, if we have more women, real women, not clones of what a woman is, a real woman, a loving, compassionate woman in office, we can stop a lot of this. So, as we all know, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, and we knew that there would be consequences to that action. So, very recently, a young 10-year-old girl from Ohio was raped by a 26-year-old man. And as a result of that rape, she was pregnant. So her parents went over the border to a state that still supported a person's choice, because that's not a woman, that's a child's choice, to terminate a pregnancy that was not something that was viable for the child. And I thought to myself, her little organs are still developing. She couldn't carry a baby to term. And yet people came out and they made it all political. Oh, the Democrats are lying and all of this. No, stop making everything political. This child was raped. And if you, as a grown adult, cannot see the violence of this, you need to give back your adult card because you're a child. Because this is very clear. She was raped. She could not take the baby to term. And people were like, oh, she'll be okay. You know, it'll be a little uncomfortable. It's like, you've never had a contraction. I think everyone in government, male in government in Washington, D.C., should be forced to sit down and have leads strapped to their abdomen and then hit that bad boy with a +10. Let them see what a contraction feels like. Maybe you will then rethink, wait a minute, that's a child. She shouldn't have to endure that.
I'm really upset even thinking what you just said.
Yeah.
Like, how can, she's a child. Her body, her bones, her body is not fully developed yet. And I can't understand why they would have her endure that.
Yeah.
And then go through, let alone the birth, go through pregnancy, let alone the birth. Could you imagine? Yes. Her body is not ready to give birth to another human being. It's just not.
Yes.
So to me, it seems like I'm making sense, right? To myself. This is all common knowledge, sensible thinking, how a child of 10 years old cannot go through a birth.
Right.
And I just don't understand why other people don't get that.
Yes.
I don't get why people can't get that this is a child.
Yes.
And they can't do this. This is not okay.
And if you're a parent, a male parent pretending to be a father, I'm really, really disappointed in the male entities in our government right now. A lot of you are just not there to represent the people. So once again, ladies, vote. When you watch the video we recommended earlier, you will see how Iceland turned their community around because they got women to vote and they took men out of power so that they could collaborate and all do well together. I've shared with you many times, coming from the South, if one member of our community was working, everybody in that community had food. If when they got ready to lay out the farmland to grow fruits and vegetables, they would talk to each other and they would say, well, I'll do potatoes and you do carrots, because some, when you're growing vegetables, you can't plant some of them close together because they will coagulate the roots and then they become, like cucumber apples, and you're like, ugh, that's nasty. So you split things up, and then everyone would harvest, and then people would take what they needed. And my grandmother, whatever was left over, she would make jam. She would make vegetable components for, different sauces. And we would all the women of the community would come together. So we have lost that in the United States. Very, very sad. We've lost that. So vote, vote, vote. Okay. So now we want to talk a little bit. Have you noticed that whenever everything now is online because of COVID, and people are still kind of Their workforce is working from home. So it's not like you can just go in and see someone. And they still ask the question, what is your race? Who cares? Why does that mean anything? If I'm filling out an application for a DMV driver's license, why do you need to know what race I'm with? Unless you're going to profile the fact that, oh, those people drive bad.
Right.
If I'm filling out an application for a loan, why do you need to know the race unless you're going to profile the fact that, oh, a lot of those people, they default on their loans?
Yeah, I don't understand. If there's a specific reason why they need to have your ethnicity, is it because here, I went to get my booster shot on Monday and I had to fill that out online. And when I got to the pharmacy, I had to fill out another paperwork with exactly the same questions. And there they ask you again, your ethnicity. And I'm just wondering, why is it? Can someone, if you are watching this and know why, please let us know, because I'd love to know why. If it's for some reason like, oh, they just want, if it's for medical reasons or something like, what is it? That's logical.
Right.
I don't understand. But if it's just to ask because of asking, what is the reason?
Or to categorize people and put them in a box or profile them.
Right, profiling, yes.
Why are we still doing that?
Yeah.
So please let us know, because we're perplexed.
Yeah, we really are perplexed. I don't understand it.
Yes.
And it's 2022 and they're still doing it.
Yes.
I don't know.
So let's have a little lighten up. Once again, vote, vote, vote. A little lighten up. So over the weekend, Ben Affleck and Jennifer, J-Lo, as we know her, Jenny from the block, they got married. And they did it in a very quiet, simple manner. Most, Hollywood, and they're like Hollywood fame, they throw these lavish weddings, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They send out invites and they tell the invitee not to tell anyone, to keep it a secret, and they have it in a special location.
And they decided they just weren't going to do that. They're going to do a party, I hear, at the end of July. However, they went to Vegas like regular people.
I did not know that. All of a sudden, my husband says, oh, they got married. I'm like, what? They got married? And then I look at the pictures. Yes, they got married in Vegas. They had to wait in line like anyone else.
Yes. And J-Lo got dressed in, I think they got dressed in bathrooms, but hers looked like it was a room off from the side. And she put on her little white dress and she got her little white purse. It was so cute.
And Ben Affleck just wore a suit from his closet.
Yes. And he got dressed in the bathroom also. And he's talking, kind of FaceTiming, letting everyone know today is my wedding day. And then when he got home, he was driving down the streets of LA and he stuck his hand out the window and you could see his wedding ring.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And so since they've gotten married, I've seen so many talk shows talking about them getting married.
Yes.
And also the video that J-Lo took when she was proposed to and she shows her ring. I'm engaged.
Yes.
And the ring, Ben Affleck does not disappoint. The first ring he proposed with her was a pink. And pink is my favorite color, everyone.
Yes.
And that really shocked me, took it over the top, because it was so rare that even Tiffany's don't even carry pink diamonds. Because I went to check to see how much they cost.
Yes.
And they said, we don't have it, it's too expensive. Then this ring is a green diamond.
Yes.
Diamonds. It's not even a green, like they could have done emerald or something. It's a green diamond. Because he knows that J-Lo likes green.
Yeah.
And it was, what was it? It was like what color? Like a peridot kind of green?
Yeah. It was beautiful, beautiful. So congratulations. They only took one child from each previous marriage with them to be witness to the wedding. And I just hope and pray that they both are going to have a good life. I know that they fell in love really, 20 years ago. And she said that love is patient. You might have to wait 20 years. However, Love is patience.
And love is what trumps everything.
Absolutely.
As we always say, love each other, be kind to one another.
Yes.
And I think because this is the second time around together,
yes.
I mean, it was really quick after she split from A-Rod. And all of a
yes.
sudden, we were telling you on our chat, oh, we see them together. Wow,
yes.
it's taken
Ben did not let grass grow under his feet.
It's taken like 1 minute before they actually got back together.
Yeah.
And
everybody's like, oh, that's just fake. That's just her way of trying to make A-Rod jealous. Apparently not.
Apparently not, because I think now this time round they know what true love is. Because if you hear about stories of men and women who were high school sweethearts, they got married, lost contact with each other, and now they're in their 60s and 70s, rekindled and got married again. That's how I see it.
Yes.
So we wish you the best of luck.
Yes.
Ben Affleck and J-Lo.
Yes. And we hear she might even become
Jennifer Affleck. Oh, we'll see about that.
Yeah, I mean her brand is J-Lo, so hopefully
she'll probably just keep that.
Yeah,
J-Lo,
I mean when you do a concert, you're still J-Lo. However, when you're at home,
but on paper it might be Jennifer Affleck. Yeah,
yes. I mean she never took no one else's name. Just be aware.
This is her 4th marriage.
So I don't know about where you are here in California. We're having surges of this new issue called monkeypox, and I just want to make people aware. We have got to do what we can do to be as safe as possible, and when you know better, you do better. There was a little thing going around called AIDS, and as long as it was in a certain community, nobody cared, until it came full circle and it started hitting the people, the rich and the famous. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, we have to do something. Don't do that with monkeypox. I see commercials where people are getting in line at 6 a.m. in the morning to get a shot.
Oh, okay.
And then at 8 o'clock when the place opens, they open, and then 10, 15 minutes later, they say they're out.
Wow.
So let's do what we can, doctors. Let's take the politics out of this. Let's take all of the disgusting conversations about this, and let's just help people to heal and to be better.
Yeah, monkeypox has grown more. I'm not going to say that it's just strictly the gay community, because it's not. It's not like AIDS was the gay community.
But that's what they're talking about.
But they're saying that the way that you get monkeypox, if you don't know already, is through very, very close contact, or saliva, or having sex with someone.
And San Francisco right now is one of the hottest spots, in New York, and it's mostly in the gay community. That's why I did the reference to AIDS.
Right.
I wasn't trying to out anything. It's just that we had a situation like this in the past. Let's not go backwards.
So it's anywhere where you come in close contact and the saliva. So it could be anyone, man and a woman having sex.
Too.
Yes, it could be a high area of people just having sex altogether. Like for you young'uns on some apps, the Tinder apps, or just having one night stands, be very careful.
Yes, I hope it's really good, because it could kill you. Be careful.
And it does not look good.
No, no. So I'm going to give you a quick update on AGT. So they had some African dancers, and I mean, my God, these young men, they would do. I see it in my head. I just can't find the words. They were doing somersaults. They would stand on each other's shoulders, 3 high, two columns, and then they would fall into each other.
Oh, wow.
Didn't break anything. I would think I would hit my face, because they fell like this. Nothing, no one was hurt. It was amazing. So they were really good last night. There was a singer, and his name was Sam Siri. He sounded like Michael Bolton and Rod Stewart.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, young man, but he had that old voice. That was really good. There was a group, they were called Matri, and they were from South Korea.
Oh, nice.
And what was really cool about them is they were an a cappella group. They had to have an interpreter, because they didn't speak English very well. And the thing is there was a young man that was a part of a group, and they kicked him out. So he made a new group, and his new group made it to AGT.
Oh.
And his one comment that I really loved was, "Now I have my revenge," because he's been on AGT, and the ones that kicked him out, nobody knows who they are. So maybe you shouldn't have kicked him out, because he did really well. So, and what they did is they did like commercials. So they would do like The Simpsons, and they sounded just like it. They did Cheers. They sounded, and they did Sophia's, what is that? Modern Family.
Oh, how funny.
And they did Terry's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You know, so they did the commercials for these shows.
Wow.
They made the sounds.
Oh.
So that was really,
I haven't
really
seen AGT in a couple weeks, and I will be watching because of that.
Yes, it was really good. There was a choir that was on, and they had really beautiful voices. However, they were dancing and doing all this, and it was a little too much. And so Simon had them sing a second song.
Okay.
So they sang the second song. They put them through.
And they weren't doing too much of the dancing.
Well, they weren't, because they were just kind of, everything they did was a cappella. But, you know, like Simon told him, he said sometimes less is better than too much.
Yes.
So he gave them some input there. There was a young girl, her name is Amanda, and she has a speech impediment in that she can't talk. She stutters really bad. So she would say, "My name is," and then she go, "My name is Amanda." And so the judges are very concerned because she can't talk, yet she's going to sing.
There was another girl like that, and
Yes.
she sung really well.
She sung really well. And Simon also told her, not only are you a good singer, you are a good songwriter, because she wrote her own song. So that was really good. There was a group of dancers, young girls, who wore skull hats. So they had on suits, and they had skull hats and little glasses. They looked like Howie. So Howie had been off the show until like almost to the end last night, and then he came back. They didn't say where he's been. They just said they was happy to have him back. And you know how Howie is very, phobic of people touching him.
Yes, very phobic.
When he came back, he hugged each of the judges. That was, he didn't fist pump them.
Wow.
He hugged them.
Wow.
And then when the girls made it through, they got their 4 yeses, he went up on the stage and he goes, "Let's dance." And he's screaming with them. And I'm like, okay, he must have had COVID, because they're yelling. And
I think that he must have had COVID and realized how precious life is.
Yes. And so that was different for Howie. My favorite, there was a group of 3 black girls, and they were from, I think they were from Mississippi, and they had been trying to break into Nashville for 2 years. I just can't believe Nashville 2022 is still, you can't be black and be country. Well, these young girls are. So what they did, the group name, they're great fans of Dolly Parton, and the group name is Chapel Heart, which I thought that's a cute name.
Yes,
Chapel Heart.
that is.
They love Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton did this song a ways back called Jolene. Jolene. So she wrote a new song that says, "Jolene, you can have him back." And that's what they performed. And all of the judges had done their golden buzzer. The group was so good that the audience, not only did they give them a standing ovation, they immediately started saying golden buzzer, golden buzzer.
So they can make an
buzzer.
exception for another golden buzzer.
Well, normally whenever there's a visiting star, they get a golden buzzer. So there are, other than them, they get it.
Okay.
So what they did is they, Simon said, if I hadn't have used my golden buzzer, I would give it to you because I think you're that good. And so then the audience really gets loud. Now, golden buzzer. So Terry comes down, and they're over and they're whispering, and they said, okay, this is what we're going to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All 5 of them hit the buzzer all at the same time. I mean, the girls were crying. I mean, that was an aha moment. And it also made me think, come on, country, you have got to racize, and I know that's probably not a word, but you have got to eliminate race.
Well, there
from
are
music.
a few country music.
Well, Jimmy
people.
Allen, my
Jimmy
favorite,
Allen,
for
and the
dancing.
guy, Jimmy Allen, and the guy from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yes,
What's his name? I
yes,
forget
and the
his name.
girl that she's doing everything now, and she did that song "Country" and "Black Like Me." So I want you all to stop, to help us fix this, because music is music. And one of the things that I'm always talking to Rosetta about, with all the disdain and the hate and the disgusting things that are going on in America, back in the day when I was young, my musicians would have been all over their case. Marvin Gaye wrote a song, What's Going On? And it was about the Vietnam War, because didn't nobody want to go. And they were forcing our children to go. And now it's almost like everybody's just so into me.
Yeah.
So we got to turn this around. So Nashville, I mean, Blake comes from Nashville. Luke from American Idol is Nashville. You know, how can you be such sweet, kind, loving people and you won't let somebody in because of the color of their skin?
It's just all to do with society and cultural, how it's been in the past. So now it's time to change things.
Yes.
And I hope these ladies, I mean, how old are these ladies?
They're not young, but they're not old. I'd say like between, they're like maybe 23 to 30, somewhere.
Well, that's young.
Yeah, they're very young.
I thought you were going to say like 40s.
Well, no, I don't mean they're
50s.
like American Idol where they're like 18.
Oh my.
No.
Yeah, so they're still in their prime. They've got many years to go. Hopefully someone, a producer or someone, will actually take them on. They should actually go on The Voice. Yes. They really should.
They should.
See if Blake Shelton can do something.
Yes, because they are good enough to win AGT.
Okay, I've got to watch. I have to, now I'm going to like binge watch 2 that I've recorded.
So we'll talk a little bit more about this one next week.
Yes.
So now let's talk about the Bachelorettes. Oh my God.
Have you been watching the Bachelorettes?
What do you think about this?
Gabby?
The two
So
girls.
I've actually been watching it, and I've decided I like Gabby more than Rachel. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have to have a divide. I like.
Well, you know, and I think the guys, if they have a chance, a lot of them would prefer to be with Gabby than to be with Rachel, because Rachel felt like, you know, after her connection didn't connect, I felt so sorry for her, because baby had this beautiful date planned, you know, and he kissed her and she was like, okay, that's really cool. And they did the, you know, he was the race car driver. She's a pilot.
Yeah, I mean, but if you don't feel it, you don't feel it. He can try as hard as he can, but she has to. I'm so glad that she went with her gut instinct.
Am too.
Because why would you just lead someone on at the end, just don't feel it? There's no point. Just send them away at the beginning instead of leading them on. And that's what she did. So this week, I really liked it because, well, I didn't like the fact that there was a remark made by Chris. He said that with Round the Guys, he said, okay, when it comes down to the fantasy suites, if the girls are going to be sleeping around, I'm not going to have it.
Right.
And a lot of men took offense to that, and they said that you're jumping the gun. It's too early. Yes. Why are you talking about the fantasy suites?
Yes, it's the first week.
It's only the first week. Why are you talking about that? And then cut to another scene, and this is what turned me around on one of the guys. There's a guy called Nate.
Yes.
He's the black guy with the dreadlocks, and he puts it over one hand.
Yeah.
So when I saw him at first, because you don't really hear him say much until all this happens, okay? This is what got me, and the way he says it and how kind he was saying it, and his face, when they did a close-up on him, he's very, very cute. When he's just walking around, you think, oh, this guy with the... Yeah.
You know, so, he thinks he's a little Mac Daddy is what I initially thought.
That's exactly what I thought. And I thought, God, not another guy that thinks he's too good for... But when he said this, oh my God, I fell in love with him. This is his precise words. If you're having premeditated thoughts, I want you... Wait, if you're... Let me read this properly.
Yeah.
If you're having premeditated thoughts of, I want you to do I won't do this unless you do that, this is a form of control and very manipulative. This could be your queen, the mother of your children. You cannot have preconditions to love. You cannot have preconditions to love. Okay, so you can't have, so he's saying you can't have preconditions to love.
Right.
This is a form of control that a lot of men do that damages good women.
Yes.
Okay, so I hope you understand what I said, because I could barely read what I wrote.
Yes.
But OMG when he said all this, because I'm like, you have hit the nail on the head.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of couples that don't succeed, boyfriend and girlfriend, not marriages, but boyfriend and girlfriends don't even get to the next level.
Right.
Because men have this preconceived notion of women, what they can and can't do. I won't do this because you do that.
Right.
That is, he says, this is a form of control, and it damages good women.
Yes.
Because it's like men that are jealous of women, right?
Yeah.
And it changes the woman of who they are. They can't be themselves, and they change to conform to how the guy is.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, you're an amazing guy.
Yeah, that's pretty deep.
You are a man.
He's a young man. His parents, whoever you are, you should be so proud.
You raised an excellent guy, and then he went on a one-on-one date with Gabby. OMG, he is intelligent.
Yes.
That's what really gets me.
And he's
so
attentive.
Intelligent, attentive, smart, and he understands women.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in love with him. Oh my God, Nate, I'm in love with you, Nate. You're doing all the right things, and I believe that you are sincere. It really, it's not like you're trying to put some kind of show on. You're not.
Right.
You're just so sincere.
And he was very shocked when they said his name. He sat there, and they're like, it's okay, you can smile. And he goes, I'm in shock.
When they called his name for the one-on-one date,
yes,
he was I was like, why are you looking like, oh my God, I'm in trouble or something?
Well, that's because he never expected it to be him.
He never did. And
it's very seldom that there are people of color, like we were talking before. Where's the Asian persuasion?
There's one guy called, I didn't even know his name, Ethan, because they barely show him.
Right.
I only knew because he was one of the last guys to be given a red rose.
Right.
And I was like, he's given a rose, but we never see him.
And we've never seen either girl talk to him.
So why would they? And and I'm very sad to say, but I think he's going to be gone very soon because they never show him taking. I mean, don't grant me this. I do say that they don't really feature these Asian men, but I do believe that partly it's because they're not aggressive, but they don't really put themselves out there. Right. So it's kind of sad.
And I understand, because it's like you don't want to look like an idiot on television.
Right.
However, you signed up for the job, do the job. Do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah, I think that they need to give the Asians a bit more credit than they're due.
And then the last guy that was selected, he was the one that Gabby gave her first impression rose to.
Oh, was that Mario or someone? Yes.
And what is he doing? He's doing body curls with Rachel. And Rachel is, and Gabby's talking to someone else, but then you see Gabby looking like, really?
Yeah, because they're so loud.
Really, this is how you roll. I mean, he's in really good shape, because he was doing squats, and then I was like, wow, you're strong. However, I felt like, no. So I think they sent him a good message.
But I think that if you were given the very first
impression
rose by one girl, you should, as a guy, I think that it's very rude to now go with another. You should, I know that there's 2 bachelorettes.
Right.
But stick with the one that gave you the first impression rose and see how it goes.
Yeah, and like that guy Logan, he kissed both of them. I was like, okay, you're doing too much.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we'll let you know how it goes next week. They did some previews of upcoming events, and it looks interesting. So we'll let you know.
And if you like Nate as much as I do, comment below.
Yes,
he is a cute one. I love him.
I think he's a sweetheart. So now we're going to turn our discussion to, climate issues, global warming. We normally talk a lot about the United States because, it's hot. Texas is like on fire. Well, now it's like the whole United States is just turning red. It's going from, California all the way to, Maine, all the way up the coastline, Florida, New Jersey, everybody's hot. So the thing for me this week is it started showing this is not a United States. This is worldwide.
Yeah.
And the UK. Now, my mom, as a trip, she got to go to London. And she told me, she says the houses in London are made, because it's always nippy there. That's the word. It's nippy, cold. They are built to hold the heat. So can you imagine being in a location, in a building that holds the heat in triple digits?
Because most of the houses are made with brick.
Yeah.
And in the UK, you'd be lucky if you get like
they don't have
a
air
good
conditioning.
whole summer that's really hot.
Yeah.
Because you would get just a few days here and a few days there.
Right.
And us British people are not equipped. We don't have air conditioning in our cars. We don't have air conditioning in our houses.
Yes.
And when it gets really hot, because when I went back several years ago, I stayed in a bed and breakfast.
Right.
It was so hot, muggy, and sticky.
Yeah.
And we asked the owners if they had any AC, portable air conditions. They said, sorry, but we're not used to this weather. We only have 2, and they've already been taken by other guests.
Yeah.
So it's like crazy when you see that in the UK. I have a friend that went back to the UK. She's there now.
Right.
And she posted, it's 102 degrees.
Yes, ma'am.
It was even hotter. She put a comparison of the UK versus Death Valley. Death Valley was 98 degrees.
Right.
And UK was 102 degrees.
Yes.
And then I think the other day went to 104 degrees or something.
Yes, very warm.
So
and I knew something was really going on, because I love the process of changing of the guards. I think that is the most beautiful thing, to see those statuette soldiers. They had to give them water.
Yeah, on a regular day that's not even triple digits, it can get boiling hot inside those uniforms they have.
Yes.
Because those uniforms are like, I don't know, they're like kind of...
It's like the wool.
It's kind of, not really woolish, but it's, you know how the cops wear that outfit?
Right.
And I don't know what it's made of, but it's very... When it gets hot, you just get sweat so much.
Yeah.
And then not only do they have the outfit on, they have those hats.
The hats. The big
hats,
black
furry hats.
Yeah.
And even when I went back years ago, it wasn't even that hot, like 100, like over 100. And I could see they were already sweating.
Yeah.
And during one ceremony, one guard did faint.
Yeah.
And they had to rescue him. I could only imagine what it'd be like in triple digits now.
Yes.
It's crazy. And my husband sent me this video on YouTube or somewhere social media. So they're not equipped for this, right? They don't have swimming pools in their backyard. So some guy, he used his garbage can and filled it with water and went into his garbage can like a pool. So that's going to show how crazy hot it is in the UK.
Hot. Yeah. So this is something that is global. And, you know, once again, the Supreme Court just naysayed the FDA and its ability to help regulate. You know, vote. Women, we have got to step up and step out. We have got to figure out how to improve planet Earth for our children. Unfortunately, the men, they can't get out of the me, I. Women are very we components. We collaborate, we work together. When I saw the UK, and then I started learning, like you shared, about they don't have air conditioning. I mean, and I thought back about it, and I'm like, they normally have, like San Francisco, they got the fog. It's always a little cool.
It's cool, not so much fog, because fog was way back when, but it is cool, and you never know. The weather's not that.
But when you look at, and you can look for it, and next week we'll try and find some pictures that we can send you some links. I've seen 50 years, what has happened to just the United States over 50 years. We started out with a little bit of light pink, lots of blues and whites, the map of the United States. And then about 20 years ago, it started to shift, and the little pinks were coming a little bit more rosy. Now, my dear God, it is burgundy, red, and orange, coast to coast. We have got to turn this around. If men believe that as long as I got money and my toys that I'm in charge, if Mother Earth blows up, you're not going to have anything.
Well, this doesn't help when we had one of the presidents who doesn't believe in global warming.
That's right.
So that doesn't help if our leader in the US doesn't believe in it. And in the past few weeks, I've been talking about things we can do everyday basis to help reduce that carbon footprint, so we don't have many of those emitted gases into the ozone so that it
Yes.
doesn't trap the gases, make it like that green. That's why we have the greenhouse effect.
Yes.
And one thing I heard recently was that Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott, they had some picture, I don't know where, it must have been Instagram because that's what they use a lot, deciding where they were going to fly to. And they were going to say, are we going to use my private jet or your private jet? They were deciding which jet to use. Now, I have this statistics I want to say. Private jets emit 2 tons of carbon dioxide in just 1 hour.
Wow.
2 tons. In May 2021, Transport and Environmental said private jets are 5 to 14 times more polluting than commercial planes. So why can't they just go first class on a plane?
Hello.
They do. Kylie is out taking regular 10-minute flights. 5 flights in the last week under 5 minutes. One was 3 minutes.
On a plane?
On a plane, on her
My
private
God, you
jet.
could get in a limo with dark windows. Nobody would even know you're in there.
Well,
Wow.
that's what I'm thinking. We can do a limo. It would take her 40 minutes to drive there.
She's not driving. She's sitting in the back,
she's
relaxing.
not driving, yes. And to top it off, she likes to go on the planes because they have like entertainment room, has this room, that room.
3 minutes, that's
Yeah.
not even enough time to enjoy it.
No, that's what I'm thinking. And she's definitely not helping. So this is what really bugs me. We're going to come to these people, Kardashians. I'm talking about you now, because Kim Kardashian got a plane and it cost her 27 point some odd million to buy a plane. She decked it out with everything cashmere, has pictures of her lounging on the chairs and everything. And there you have it, both billionaires. And what annoys me is I'd rather see you be publicized for what are you doing with your money to give back to the community.
Yes.
What good are you doing
Yes.
for people that are less privileged than you?
Yes.
Sorry to say, I'm a bit tired of seeing you going around flaunting your body, your makeup, what your next outfit's going to be. And you know who I blame this all on? She's a great manager, but mamager, as they call her.
Yeah.
She
Mama
does
Chris.
everything right to get the money, to get them wealthy where they are so they can buy what they want, live in the lap of luxury.
Right.
But as a parent, Gloria and I are always talking about top down.
Yes.
You've taught your kids how to make money. Now teach your kids how to give back to the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm mortified. Number one, where do you go that's 3 minutes away? You go from, what is that thing? It used to be called John Wayne Airport to LAX. I mean, by the time the plane ascends to the proper amount, it's already descended.
Yeah, so
wasteful.
it was somewhere in Southern California and they were flying to Van Nuys. So that was 3 minutes.
But that is so wasteful. And I understand that, you know, in order for you to keep up, as your name, keeping up with the Kardashians, at a certain point, I hope you will realize, because, you know, you are Chris's children, and I know she looks at you, and as you all look at your children, what do you want your legacy to be? Do you want them to hear that mommy wasted $20,000 for 3 minutes to take the plane up, to fly, and then to take the plane down? Or my mom is a great mom because she hired people to go and clean up the beach. To you know, when I see the commercial where the guy is raking so that the little turtles can go into the water, you know, what are you doing for the environment? So, you know, I don't profess to take away anyone's good, you know, what God blesses them with. I just want people to realize where much is given, much is expected. And I think, you know, don't act like the boys, you know, the Bezos and the Musk. They're shooting rockets. I can't imagine what shooting those rockets off in the environment is doing. And it's for someone to go on a joy trip. I think until we understand Mother Earth and everything that's going on, that should be suspended, you know? See, that's why I'm not president, because I said, no, we're not doing that anymore. And if I was president, I would have scientists in the White House today. What is going on? And what can we do? And once we learn, how do we share this with all the other countries around the world? Because, people used to think it was just us in California that was hot. So how you feel me now, Texas? And Texas has a power grid that is at risk of failing badly. We have to stop just overusing our resources. We have to learn how to conserve.
Yeah, all this is back to, if you don't understand, you might not understand what's happening, but why do you think we're having all these fires?
Yeah.
Why do you think there's all these, Houston recently had another hurricane or whatever it was, flooding and stuff.
Well, remember in December, they had an ice issue where they had rain, and then it got cold. And while the citizens of Texas were freezing, their senator, I'm like whooping, not even going to say his name, got on a plane to go to Mexico, talking about I'm being a good father. I'm just taking my child and dropping her off. That duffel bag looked like there was at least 2 weeks worth of clothing in there. And his wife had been online inviting other friends, let's get out of here. Let's. And, the thing is, if you don't care about your citizens, step down. If you're tired, if you're like, I'm overwhelmed with this, step down. Let somebody else get into office. Because my prayer every day is that Gen X is going to shake up the world. Because they don't have to, this thing that only 57% of the citizens of the United States of America vote. That is deplorable. And everything that's going on now, if you don't vote, I want you to look in the mirror and say, that's my fault. Climate issues, that's my fault. COVID, can't get it under control, that's my fault. Because I'm not willing to vote the people who are in office who are acting out and put people in office who are for the betterment of our citizens worldwide. That's what we really need.
Exactly. Again, parents, I say this again to all parents watching, mom and dads out there, it's our chance to make a good future for our children, to live in a place that's not going to be depleted of our oceans, of rainforest, our animals, Mother Nature, just to have this world a good place to live in for our children to grow up in and for many generations to come. So it's our jobs to teach them, we say again, to vote, educate them. What can we do to help? They always say, it's not what you say to people, it's how you make them feel when you leave the room, and what impact can you make to this society. And as we're saying with the Kardashians, you can make a lot of impact because you have the resources, a lot of money, you have the celebrity, the fame, and the finances to be able to do something about it. And people look up to you. You already have little young girls looking up to you. So why
make
not
them proud,
make them
mommy.
And you can lead them in whatever you want. And why not think about trying to do something that's good for our country, for the citizens, for the homeless, for whatever, like put together a global initiative impact or something, like how we're going to do one thing to help global warming.
Where you all live, in those beautiful multi-million-dollar homes, they're saying by 2050, so it's 2022 now, in 18 years, all of that will be underwater. So think about your investment too. All the way up to the Hollywood sign is just going to be water. Where we're sitting today, if the ocean keeps rising and the bay rises, it will take out all of this.
All the cities will be gone. And it won't even show on the map. Because last week, if you didn't watch our chat, go back and watch it, because I told you exactly what's going to happen in 2050. And all this could be prevented. And it's never too late. We need to start now. What we do is start now. You know better, do better.
And vote.
And vote.
So our last little tidbit is to just remind everyone, COVID BA5 is still rampant. By the grace of God, people are not dying from it. However, it's like every time I turn around, I got it. So it is moving pretty fast. Take care of your family. Take care of your loved ones. When you're around someone and you don't know them, wear a mask.
I got my second booster on Monday.
There you
So I
go.
got that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm going to wait for the new one coming out this
Yes.
fall in October, the Omicron one, or whenever it comes out.
And they said that one will be, they're trying to come up with a vaccine that will come more like annual, like the flu. Because unfortunately, we never hit herd immunity. This is something that's going to be with us for the rest of our life.
The booster, anyone can take it. You know that.
Yes.
Anyone, not just people over 50.
And I love the babies who are getting their shots. They look at the, first they kind of lean and they look, and then they're like, is that it?
You know what? People, if you're scared of the needle, just don't look at it.
Thank you.
Look straight ahead.
You can barely feel it.
And, oh my God, I'm like, you're done? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm okay with needles, but sometimes I do get like, but really, you're for nothing.
Yes.
Really nothing.
Yes. So we want to share with you, we feel the love in the room. We're so grateful that you share time with us. We would love for you to, share your comments and let us know what you're thinking and different things that we can talk about, because we know that it takes time for you to listen to us. And we get into these chats and we're like 10 minutes and we're done, and we're never 10 minutes because we want to talk to women. We want women to hear our words. We can stop this. We can change this. We just have to know in our hearts we can do it for our children. Don't worry about what your husband and your boyfriend and all those people say. Just look at your baby's face. Look at your child's face and think to yourself, do I want to let chaos run my child's future?
And this is why we were so big about talking about Greta Thunberg when she came.
Yes.
And now I'm really, really into it, because 2050 is
going
to be there very soon in our lifetime.
Yeah.
In many of our lifetimes. Maybe if I'm lucky to live that long, but hopefully I will. And I don't want to see the world go to kaputs like that.
No. So we feel the love. We send it back to you. We want you to go out and share it with the world. Every moment we want you to have burrowing in the back of your mind. Vote. Vote. Vote.
It's coming November.
Yes.
Well, thanks everyone so much for joining us for another one of our chats. We've enjoyed it so much, and we want to remind you, did you like our video, our chat?
Yeah.
Hit that thumb icon.
Yeah.
Please consider subscribing to our channel. Subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you'll be first to be notified. We are Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. And remember to always keep smiling.
Bye-bye. Bye.